All right, everybody. Good morning to you. Oop, turn my volume down, and there we go. Well, looking for the bottom today, but man, we already pre-launched. Is that what's going on here? Forget about sitting on the pad anymore. We got some movement today, and we're going to talk about it right now. And good morning, everybody. Hey, almost left me out of the action today, but hey, thank you for being here, everybody. I'm going to have a good time with all you guys here on the bottom, gals. And so let's just get this thing going. Hey, Catfish, what's going on today anyway? What's happening? Well, I'm glad you asked, King Cat. And I want to thank you all for being here. Let me just move this page over here to this side over here. Boom, like that. There we go. Put it up nice and big. And we get done on this one here. And then hopefully you'll show us all up here. And what do you say, all you cats? Holy cow. Holy cow. What's going on? Do we have lift off already? Oh, man. There you go. Do we have liftoff already? Sofi on the launch pad? No, I don't think so. We look like we're making a move for sure here. So let me just make sure I've got everything set up correctly because sometimes I screw up here. It's happened more than once. So let's just get over here and make sure we put our other page up here with the display capture on top. And that's what I want right there. All right. So we'll get this going. Beautiful. Looks good to me. I hope it looks good to you. If it does, then we're all set. Let's just make sure it's fit the screen. So I didn't do anything wrong. Fit the screen. Dooba-dooba-doop. There we go. Hey, folks. Hey, hey, hey. Ho, ho, ho. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. All right, now we're going to put this over here. And we got it all. Looks like it's very good. And let's get the screen over here going on. Hey, and now we're going to also have to move this one, put this one, move it around. We got a lot going on here. I want to check my stream. Hopefully it's good. Put that down there. Move this over here. And welcome to each and every one of you. And what do you know? What a big old surprise today to see Sofi running all the way up. And folks, what was the number that we hit for the high? I'm just curious because it was one of my numbers where I tell you to sell. What was it today? It says range 757. Folks, how many times have I said to you sell at 750 or 54, the number 54? Okay. So when we're going up on earnings day, when we hit 54, you need to get yourself out of a few shares, take some profit there. If it's at 954, 1054, 1154, doesn't matter. That 55 number they like to go after. Okay. So I'm just reiterating that again. I want to thank you all. Josh Davis, good morning. Heirloom Cedar, hello. Yes. Uh, all right. Hold on a second here now. And let me get some waves in there to you guys. We got to say hi and give you the proper welcome. That's right. There you go. There's for the first two, and there's others here I know. And I just want to thank you all for being here very much so. I know there's many of other places you could go to. And I don't know if you saw, but I posted a few more songs, moved them over to recorded songs with videos on YouTube this morning. And so thank you. I did, I want to, hey, appreciate the love. And I want to thank all of you people who have, on my very first day of becoming monetized, you literally absolutely made my day. I'm going to be putting some names up of folks that just blew me away, and I'm going to show them, tell you who they are. All right. So my very, very, very first ever. Let me see here. Go to my messages. To my sweetie pie. Yep. Okay. Here we are. Sweetie pie. There we go. And I can go back to the very first because I've been taking all these pictures. My very first King Cat donation came from, and he was highlighted yesterday, was Smurfy. Now that's the first one that's used my the little things down at the bottom of the screen here. So Smurfy, Kevin, welcome to you, Kevin. Hello and welcome. And I'm so glad to see what I thought was going to start today. And as I said, folks, all during this week, we can make a lot of money if we hit these highs and get out and then catch the lows and get in and the highs and lows, because this thing's going to start swinging in probably about 8 cent ranges to 10 cent up off the highs to the lows. And right now you can see we're 12 cents and they're probably going for 13. So if you want to buy some more at the low, buy up 10 shares now at $7.45. Okay, because it's going to keep going up. There's too much volume. Look at the volume today already. 8,100,000. It looks good, looks solid. So there you go. It's already starting to rise right now. So I would say put an order in at 745 right now, pick up 5-10 shares, and let's rock. We're going to make money all day long, right? All right, yeah. And so we've got some others news besides my first gift from Smurfy. Can't wait for that. LOL, average down in the meantime. That's right. My first gift from Smurfy coming up on my channel here and showing me some love. But prior to that, we had someone who I just subscribed back on his channel and was watching some of his cool videos that he put up. And that's Turnaround. And I want you to know that he took care of me in a good way. And that's why we have our new microphone here today. A new microphone. He certainly helped with the purchase of that. And all of you have contributed. And to make sure that everybody is acknowledged for their contributions, Smurfy, thank you very much. Manny, I want to say thank you so much to you, Manny. And I'm sorry that yesterday at the time that you did it, I didn't even catch them. They were like over here on my left, and I was so preoccupied with my screen or whatever I was doing, and I didn't catch it. So I want to say hi. Smurfy, thank you so much. Jay Reezy, you're definitely one I want to thank as well for your donation and helping me out in my cause. And next, Mopar for Life. Yeah, went to his channel and checked him out last night. Man, this guy, I love the guy. He's a lot like me, I can tell. And we went back communicating back and forth last night. And so anyway, I'm just real happy for, and we're going to see them bring out their volume here, volume gun, try to run this down because they can see where this is going. They want in. So don't worry, just pick up this at the low here in a minute. And I'm not telling you to buy 1,000 shares. I'm just saying, watch it close and see what they do. Watch them bring it on. And all they're doing is giving us a great buying opportunity, about freaking 50 cents more than we were buying yesterday, right? Or whatever. So there you go. Brew Tank, he's been taking care of me as well. I want to thank you, Brew Tank, for my beer fund money you sent, and for my wife. She's going to be very pleased to get a nice bottle of wine. I did that yesterday. LOL, 1,000 shares. Kevin Parr, all right. Bought 1,000 yesterday. Well, it was, when I show you these charts, people, it becomes very, very clear. And look at what's happened now on this 6-month chart. Look right here. Hold on. I'll get it right back out here so we can see. Man, oh man, oh man. We ought to really do it more on the 1 month because that'll be more visible. All right. And I just want to thank you all for being here so we can see all this action that's going on right in front of us, right in front of our very eyes. All right. So even as we speak, they're trying now at this time to make a feeble effort to knock this thing back because there's no way it's going to happen today. Folks, if you think we're going to finish in the red today, you got another thing coming. As a matter of fact, this is the time to be buying some more right now, and I'm going to. So just give me a minute while I buy some here. All right. Got my little pad all charged up, and we're going to charge it up. All right. The price is fixing to charge up, and I'm buying more right here. I hope you buy some too with me. I don't care if you pick up 5 shares, 10 shares, whatever you pick up. Come on in. The water's fine, people. What the heck is going on with this silly thing? There it goes. Decided to start working. Yeah, look at that massive candlestick of an attack right there. There's a big attack on the chart. And that's what we want to be looking for, is this right here. Let's go to the 1 day and see who's coming and how. And then that tells us when to come in. 13 folks here. Don't forget to hit the like button, everybody. Yeah, way to go, Kevin. Way to go, Heirloom. Hey, can't wait for that. Yep, Kevin, I did that yesterday. Yeah. You guys, I'm not going to miss anybody who today, I'm not going to miss it when people put the donations, because what happens is, and I figured this out because I'm all new to it, that when someone gives a donation or buys an emotion or sticker or whatever, it highlights them down here in the text, and so in the chat bar. So And it's a good way if you've got something of major importance, $1 will get you that thing, bam, where it comes up where everybody can see it. You know what I mean? And it's not a lot to pay for the benefit of what we're going to all make together on this channel, working together, everybody. So all I got to say, we're helping each other. Everybody's in this together, and we are all going up together. Right, everybody? Thank you for being here. Cha-ching. It's a profitable day, one of many. I told you we were going to start seeing. I thought it would start yesterday, but there was a few that wanted to get on the wagon before it took off. So they did their little action. I hope you're buying here with me. I just suggested, yes, people, buy here, okay? That's it. It's over for the rundown. This is going to be a very good day for us. Just let's keep nibbling away at it, 5-10 shares at a time now. This time when we break up over 755, we're going to be selling some today at 764. Just selling some that we bought way lower yesterday, right? And we're going to go, what are we going to do? Cha-ching. What in the heck is this silly button thing doing here? Trying to keep me from trading this morning? What is going on here? Give it the drop test. And you know what, folks? You might think I'm crazy to do that, but as some of you know, in the past, I had a pawn shop. And in my pawn shop, I had people often bring in old equipment, especially like old stereo or radio, those old radios that people used to have in their homes to listen to. That's all you had was radio back in the 50s or 40s and stuff. So anyway, they bring in all these old antique things and these old, and I can't tell you how many times I try to plug something in. It would not work. And my wife knows this is true, and many that were there in the store with me, because there was many that kind of hung around there waiting for good deals to come through the door they could snap up. And anyway, one of the things that I discovered, and I've known this a long time, is that sometimes when you can't get something old that you haven't used in a long time, you plug it, it's just not working. Maybe, especially with electronics, folks, the one thing you should know is that, believe it or not, if you just lift it about an inch off the table or the floor and give it a drop, boom, plug it back in then, and you wouldn't believe how many times something will come on after you do that. I'm not kidding. And it can be anything, because what happens as stuff just sits around, it accumulates on the resistors, the transistors, and all the contacts, dust. It's just pure and simple dust. Now, you can do it another way, obviously, by getting those blowers that spray out all the dust. Folks, please buy some more stock here on Sofi today. Put your orders in right now at 745 and see if you can get 5 there. If you don't, go ahead and put a market in for 5 at 746 or 10 or 50 or whatever. But folks, this is going to be a great day for us, all right? And I'm just trying to encourage you to do that because of the charts I'm looking at. But at any rate, again, there were so many people yesterday. And then last night, I get a notification that came in on my messages. And I was like, oh, what the heck is this? And it totally blew me away. And I'll show you here in a second. Just give me a second here. Bang, bang, ba-doom, bum, bum. All right, done. Hold on. Do. All right, here we go. Here it is. Where are you? And he's probably out west, so not here yet. Troy Boy Playboy. What a name. And man, folks, you would not believe. I was blown away by his contribution through the super thanks. He clicked on a super thank. And so there you go. Yesterday, Brew Tank was saying something about super thank, and I got a double super. Oh my gosh. So today, I wish I had a way to put his picture up there, but we're going to do this right now. We're going to make sure when he gets here, he sees it. Troy Boy Playboy is King Cat of the Day. Yep. All right. We're going to do it again. Troy Boy Playboy earns, that's right, King Cat of the Day for his mind blowing contribution. And I want you to know, folks, it's going to be to all of our benefit. Uh, all right, sorry. I know when I do this, it makes my screen jiggle, so I don't look at the screen right now. I'm going to try and get away to what an awesome surprise. I got a notification that came through my YouTube, and it said it just was a notification, and I clicked on it, and bam, bam, two, and I was like, oh my gosh, this listener, we're not even on the show, we're not even doing anything, and he just comes in when cha-ching, 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 and just said very simply, thanks so much, and that was it. I mean, it was just and I'm going to get down here because I want to click on some of these too and get them in there for this. We got to make sure we put in money. All right. Oh yeah, there was money. All right. Wow. Bam. All right. And we're going to go back here again. Boom. And we're going to hit space. And then bam, 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 bam. I mean, folks, I'm talking serious money. Serious money. Some amount of money that some people don't even make working all day. All right. And so I am going to highlight him, and he's going to be right there. Boom. Troy Boy Playboy. And I'm going to now take this one here, and we're going to do. I have to remove this one. Just give me a second, folks, because I've got a lot to show you, but let's just do this. We're going to pin this message now. There you go. And there you go. He's been pinned right up there at the top. Look at that. Wowza, wowza, wowza. And folks, pick up some more Sofi today at this price right here. You'll be fantastically happy that you did come. And I think already people know it for earnings day. They know. They got a little whiff. They know. I mean, all of them know. That's why they've been running us down for the last week. Mm-hmm. But today is a day that they begin to wade in, and then they'll start flowing in, and then the closer we get to the opening of the venue, there'll be a situation like they had, unfortunately, at the concert, the Who concert, right? I don't know if you know about that, but there was a stampede. A lot of people died trying to get into the concert at the gate going in, and it's happened even recently, about a little bit back, I understand, at another concert. And so anyway, I'm just addressing that point that here, folks, is a good buying opportunity for us. Don't worry. I mean, we're not worried because every one of you that's here is not worried. Good morning, Ron. Hey, check it out. And there were so many donations yesterday that I was just kind of caught off guard by it. I really was. It surprised me. Now, I just noticed my picture's too big on this, so I'm going to lower me down. I don't need to be that big. Get me out of here. Boom. There we go. Downsize me a little bit. Right? All right. Now, I want to show you some things, and I want to tell you some things, and I've already told you some things, and most of it is just congratulations to those of you who have been picking up this stock in the low sevens. And now, folks, is the beginning of the ascent. Okay? The beginning of the ascent. And I want you to be aware that the average volume they're showing here is not true 30 million. That's skewed only by the day on May the 5th when they used 400 million almost to try to run us down after earnings. Okay, between May 1st when we beat the street, and here it is over here, we beat the street and everybody was surprised right here. Bam, May the 1st. That's the date. This one here I'm showing you. Their expectations were there. We came all the way up here. And folks, they come at us with blazing guns away, knocking us away, just like Morgan Stanley did, downgrading us. And then they had 58 million shares. Now speaking of that, man, I'm going to show you something about that will blow your minds, people. Maybe, I don't know if it will or not, but I did some calculation last night. And folks, I want you to know, look at this crazy piece of paper. All right. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a lot on here. All right. What I wanted to do is I was kind of curious. I knew, and I had discovered that Morgan Stanley had $58.5 million worth of our stock. So I did the math, and on the day they had $58 million, by the way, it was, and I'm going to show you this because this is very, very interesting, I thought, and I hope you'll agree. And I thank you all for being here to watch what I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to do this again just for a second. I know I just made this small, but I'm going to make it big again. And then I'm going to put this over here so that you can see this, right? Let me make sure I'm doing this right. And yeah, you should be able to see this on your screen. So what I want you to see, here you go. These are all the calculations that I did, and they may be very, very poorly. But look at all these little arrows and things like this to figure out what they did. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to take you back here to this date when we were running like the wind, running wild like the wind, and we were going up and up and up because we got the downgrade in May, and then we started just going up. I showed you for like 20 days in a row. But then we started taking off, and we hit, what was the high that we went to? I'll show you right here in just a second, $10.23. Well, Morgan Stanley had, at the time, I did the calculation, they were holding on to about 5,718,000 shares, 5,718,475 to be exact. And on that day, because the price was at 10.23, so that's how much the value of all of their stocks was in money was. No, I take it back. That was the value of their share count was actually on that day, and I did the mathematics, was exactly, and I had it written out. Let me see here, and it's kind of hard to heal. Yes, $58.5 million. Okay, so I divided that $58.5 million on the day right there, the 14th, by $10.23 to tell how many shares that they had, right? And what they were holding at that time was they were holding let me make sure I got it right, 1,143,695 shares. That's how many they had at that time. To have that much in volume, 58 million, 58.5 million, they were holding 1,143,695. Now, I want you to go here for a second because institutions, we're going to hit Sofi, institutions, and here's the interesting thing. Okay. When you look at the institutions here, it shows 702 total, 645 long, 24 short, and 33 long and short. Well, my assumption is Morgan Stanley has long and short positions on Sofi. Because why, if they had 58.5 million, would they downgrade it? All right. So I just thought to myself, okay, they're probably pretty smart, and they figure the price is more likely going to go up than down. So 80% of their portfolio would be in long positions. I'm just guessing. I don't know this for a fact. And then let me put this back down here so you can see what I'm showing you. All right. So here they are right here with 33 with long positions. And I thought, well, 33 long and short. And I thought to myself, all right, let's say they had 20% of their portfolio was shorted positions. So when the price was at 10.23, guess what they did? Those 20% of shares would have been a total of how many shares? I did the math. If they had, it would have been 11,999 shares. All right, that's 20% of the total that they had of 1,143,000. All right, so 11,999 shares. If you figure it shorted and it dropped, the amount that they made it drop was $1.46. Well, if you take 11,999 and multiply it times $1.46, folks, you end up with a pretty nice chunk of change of profit that you made on that drop. As a matter of fact, you would have made, let's see, you would have made, it was almost $1 million as I figured it out. Let me make sure I have it right here. So they had dropped 11,999. 0.79, 1 million. Oh, they sold 1,140,000 shares, and that would have made them profit $1,669 and $1,669,794. So that's how much they profited on that day if they had, say, 20% of their shares in this stock shorted. And so, yeah, it didn't really hurt them to drop it that much. But you got to think, they were sitting on 58 million shares. How much did that cost them to get it to go down that much? Well, believe it or not, folks, they sacrificed in money because of the share price dropping on the remaining shares they had. They actually went down that day $4,574,780. All right. So to downgrade our stock on that day, it cost them nearly $5 million to downgrade it because of the drop in the price with all the shares that they had. But they made a little bit back on the shorted positions. And then they actually had, and if you take that amount, 1,669,000, and then they bought back at the low at 877 on this day right here. So there's the 1023, and then they ran it down to July the 13th. This was the Morgan Stanley downgrade. They bought back in at 877. So even though they had been down and they were down 4 million, when they got back in at 877, they were able to buy, folks, 190,398 shares. All right. 190,398 shares. They added those shares then back into their total. And their share total had been 12 million or whatever they took out. And now, folks, what I did, the calculations was they ended up gaining total about, let me see here. Yep. Oh, and then I could determine exactly from how many shares they're holding now, which happens to be 12,085,836 shares that they're holding. I can show you that right here. If you come down here to Morgan Stanley on this thing here, you'll see how much they're holding. Hold on. Let's do a control F because there's 600 of them. Morgan. All right, here we are. And we're going to go to the right Morgan. Here we go. Nope, that's it. Morgan Stanley. There it is. They're holding now 12,085,000 shares. All right. That's a lot of shares of this stock, people. All right. But I could do the math from that number. They had actually, when they added in, when they did the subtraction of shares and sold those short, dropped it down, then added them back in at 877, went back up, and what ended up happening was that on that day, I did the math, and it turned out with what they bought that they actually added and bought 4,765 shares that day. All right, using the money that they had profited from the 20% that if they did sell some of their short, and if I'm right about this, they used the money that they made profiting on the short. Once they made the short sell and bought back in, they then had at that time, and I did this all math. They ran up another. They added back in, and that's why now they own about $98 million worth of the stock. Right. So I think that's right. I think it is. I could be wrong, but let's see. Yeah, that's right. And what they're going to do now, folks, is they're going to run this thing up to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And then their $58.5 million worth of shares is going to be 150. All right. That's what I think. And that's reason that I think that we're seeing today. And look at these monsters. Look at this number right here. Look at that number right there. I showed you that 2 days ago, too, when we were running up. I showed you that's how much we were up. And that when we hit that number, guess what it was? That was yesterday's high. And then they just came at it from that number right there and just ran it down. They were still, it doesn't matter. We're still doing all right. And the after hours went up too, folks. So anyway, I just want you to know, I just kind of dissected all that to figure out how Morgan Stanley is going to profit from the day they ran the price down on a downgrade on a stock they own 58 million. And that's exactly how they did it, because the price was at 1023. It went all the way down to 877. And then, after that, they just had made so much money off it already. Off that profit, they bought back into it at that low price, 877, and bought twice as many shares. So now they're not sitting on 6.8 million shares. They're sitting on 12 million shares. All right. Just so you understand how it all works and how the manipulation is throughout the whole area. And I've even shown you this before. Crazy thing about Morgan Stanley is that they were one of the founding companies of SoFi. And if you don't believe that, check this out. And I know you do believe me, but I just like to show you and prove what I'm saying is true, right? All right, we're going to go over here, click on the SoFi, and then down here, this is a long, long article, but I can just hit Control F and a little box pops up and it says Morgan, and then I go down here and look at this. This is the beginning of the stage of the company. All right. It says that in September 2012, or October 2nd, 2013, right here, highlighted in blue, SoFi announced that it had raised $500 million in debt and equity to fund a refinance student loans. All right, so this total funding amount came from $90 million in equity, $151 million in debt, and $200 million in bank participations, with the remaining capital from alumni and community investors. Here's the catch right here. All right, it says the $151 million in debt includes a $60 million line of credit from guess who? Morgan Stanley, the guys that downgraded our stock on the 13th and made the price fall from a high the previous day of $9.39 to $8.77, a 13% drop. All right. And to prove what I'm saying, if they owned 58.5 million before, which they did, they owned $58 million worth at 1023. Let's just do that. 58.500, right? And 00. There we go. Now we got to add one more. That's it. 58,500,000 divided by 1023, which was the price before they collapsed it, equals. So, folks, this is why I'm pointing this out. They had 5,718,475 shares, right? That's how many shares they had if they had $58 million worth, right? I believe that calculates right. And that does seem right. Yes, that's about right. So anyway, to make a long story short, folks, what I'm getting at here is that they now have double their position on SoFi after running the price down to 877. All right. And by the way, that if you take 5,700,000, that would be the dollar value. Let me think about that. Make sure I'm doing this right. 58 million shares divided by 10.3. Yeah, that would be 5,718 shares if they had 58.5 million. That is correct. And I'm just making sure I have that right. So if you had that many shares, 5,718,475, and the price dropped from 1023 to 877, which is 13% times 13%, right? Equals, golly. So let's do it again. Make sure I got 58,500,000. That's $58,500,000 worth divided by 10.23. So equals. So yeah, they had 5,718,000 shares. And then if you drop that times, how much did they run it down? Times 13%. Times 13%. Folks, it cost them $743,000 just to make that price drop to 877. So I was incorrect. $743,000, 401. Is that right again? All right, one last time. We got 58,500,000. That's how much value it was, divided by 10.23. That's how many shares they had. And then that times 13%. Yep. It cost them $734,000 that day to make it drop. And then they popped in and bought twice as many shares. All right. And it might not even cost them that much when it dropped, because some of those shorted positions, if they are going both long and short, well, there you go. But anyway, I just want you to see that. Morgan Stanley, the company that helped us get off the ground, trying to make the price drop. For some reason. I don't know why that would be, but now you all saw it, and you can confirm it for real. Let me get back over. I just realized I don't have a page up here showing my chatting. If you guys are talking with me, I haven't seen it. And I apologize for that. Let me put this down here and make sure I get this back up. Boom. There we go. Oh, there's Troy Boy Playboy. Hold on. Yes, I need. Oh, look at all these comments I've been missing. I'm so stupid. Sometimes I am dumb, folks. Ruben Kotz, I really don't get the markets these days. SoFi runs and almost breaks into 760s and then falls off a cliff almost back to the 730s. Well, this is the market makers. That's how they're doing it. That's why I told you. You guys need to listen close. This whole week's going to be very volatile with big 50-cent swings a day going both ways. We need to take advantage of it, all right? All right? Now, the reason I say that is because when I look at this number right here, look at the days range. What is one of the numbers that I've been telling everybody to sell at? Look at the high. I tell you to sell at 754. If it's going up, I tell you to get out at 754 and pull back to 731 or 2 or whatever. Well, look at it right now. So this is my point. These numbers that I'm giving you as sell numbers, they're because I've seen it so many times. All right. So if you bought at 714 or 697 yesterday, why in the world wouldn't you go ahead and put in some order and take 50 of them off the top or 100 or whatever? At that number, you should have numbers in from here going up, sell orders. If you bought lower, and I bought even in the 4s and 5s, so I every time I sell a share, it's making money. I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm not naive to the fact that every time. But now, I just want you to know, folks, that this is going to be very common, and we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to make a lot of money this week selling on these highs and then buying backs on these lows, all right? And by the way, we're going to monitor how much they're swinging it. Right now, it went from 757 down to what? 20-cent swing right now. That's a good even number. They usually like 10 or only 11, but 20? Oh, yeah. They're working the system here. They're putting a lot of volume on this to get these shares away from weak and naive and gullible people, all right? So don't worry. We'll get back. That's an understanding of how they do it. Troy Boy, good morning. Oh, you're too kind, Tyler. No thanks needed. Oh, come on. Needed you do all the work. Oh, come on. Please. Oh, my gosh. Troy. Oh, my God. Look at that. And Troy Boy, I just enjoy before work for a short bit, then once home. It's how I end my day, so I know what to do the next day. Wow. All right. All by Troy Boy Playboy saying, I also do a lot of after hours buying, good amounts to keep that running smoothly before you get things going morning there. All right, yes. So I understand that completely. And folks, I'm going to tell you right now, usually I would suggest you wait until the price got all the way down to 731 right here from this number 7. But most times they don't even get it past 744. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy some here. All right. All right. And folks, also, I want you to know that I got a lot of going on with my music. I was up till 1 o'clock this morning, and that's why I was a little late this morning getting up. But I had been watching it on my phone, and I thought, well, I'm just going to wait till 10:30 to come on because they're going to come at it at 10:30. Well, guess what? 10:30. Look at that. Look at that right there, folks. How many times have I? 10:30, people. These are all computers that just say, okay, 10:30, it's time to sell. And it happens every day almost. A lot of times it's even sooner, 9:45. All right. Now, Let me get an order in here. I'm telling you, man, this thing's going to skyrocket off this. You should have already bought. I was telling you. Right now, it's going. It's already on its way. It's already on its way. Place it. 739. I'm in there. And folks, I want to let you know, this baby ain't going to stop. It's not going to stop. You can see that clearly right here. We're at the bottom. That's my feeling. I'm not 100%. And also, folks, as I always say, I am not a certified, registered, degree-earned analyst, stock analyst. I'm not a finance. I don't have a finance degree. All I do is look at these charts. I look at these numbers. I look at the volume. I look at the news. I look at what other buyers are doing, like Kathy Wood, ARK Investments. I see what they're coming in. I see Morgan Stanley playing their games, downgrading the stock when they helped this company get off the ground, and they had $58.5 million worth of it. The day they downgraded it, that very night, I discovered that they had all those shares, and I told everyone, didn't I? Right here, every one of you. So I hope you're buying with me right now. I hope you're buying with me. Come on in. The water's fine. Come on in. The water is fine. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Out go the lights. For the shorts, that is. All right, here we go. Putting in our order now. Again. Going to do a little differently this time, though. There we go. Kaboom. And by the way, folks, as I said to you before, I'm not sitting here buying up thousands of shares. Now, I know somebody did. I know someone has yesterday. But look at this number right here. Look at this number right here. It was 1.13. All right. Oh, what a beautiful day. Let's get some more. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put in a limit order now, see if I can get it. Oh, man. Oh, goodness gracious. Come on, baby. Bam. All right, folks, pick yourself some up here. Don't delay on this price. It's the 1030 rundown, 20 cents. Cha-ching. And watch it run up 40 cents before here in the close. They'll be at 774. All right? And they'll try and stop it at 766. But, folks, look where we're at in volume. We're almost at, we're at 11 and a half in 2 hours. Oh, man. Every bit of their shorting volume has been used from here all the way to here. And they only have been recently about, 13 or 14 million a day they're borrowing and returning them all because they're afraid to get caught off guard. And they should be. Look at the daggum NASDAQ here. Look at the Dow. Look at the Dow. I guess, I don't know, folks. Maybe it's just that the entire market has forgotten about the bond yields, right? Ron, you motivated me. Bought 400 more at 736. All right. Now, listen. Here's my way of thinking, and I appreciate you saying that, but I want you to know something else. When I suggest you come on in here, the water's fine. What I mean is, and I've said to you, I'm not sitting here buying 1,000 shares at this price, right? I hold off and I make sure that we're at the bottom by nibbling at it. I just keep filling these orders, and as long as they keep filling for about the same price, 735 here, 734, then I know we're at the bottom. If I can run for 10 minutes and the price doesn't change, I just keep tapping away 10 shares at a time because it costs me nothing to do it, right? Yes, Manny's weight loss. Hello. I hear you, Ron, and thank you for being here. Troy boy, Playboy took care of me last night with a shocking surprise on my account. It really blew me away. I was just couldn't believe it. So I want to just thank you all. Don't forget to hit the like button. We got 8 likes, 21 folks. If you hit the like button, it just shares with everybody else, and we get more and more people over here to help us because many of them help us out. You know, some of them are here to try to drag us down. We had our old George Wallace, and we kicked him out of the tank, and we had old Spartacus, and finally had to kick him out of the tank. And you know, again, I don't mind that these guys were actually both right, but I just want everybody, as it says here on my channel, be kind, and we'll all be fine. All right. So when you start throwing your weight around and you think you're some big old heavy duty catfish here on my channel and start telling me stuff like Spartacus, I'm just getting sick and tired of telling you, you know what? No. Sorry, but I don't need to hear that on a channel where I'm spending 7 hours a day trying to help people. Or you got somebody like George, who I think personally was shorting the heck out of the stock. And I think he's probably gone long now on it if he's smart. But he wasn't smart enough to keep his mouth shut after I already forgave him. So one time he was like, oh, I told you, why don't you just blame it? Why don't you just tell everybody you were wrong and all this? And I said, look, man, I'm about to kick you out. Let's just chill out. I'm just going to remove that and act like you never said it. And then he threw it in there again. And I said, boom, out of the tank. You're on the floor flopping around. You got no oxygen anymore, and you'll die a slow, floppy death. And I don't mean that, obviously, in any, I just mean just comically and satirically, if you will. All right, here we come to my number that I actually told you all to get in, and that was 731. Now, and this, you're going to see how interesting this is. I've got all these numbers that I've told you to buy at levels and to sell at levels, right? Buying here, selling here, buying here, selling here. One of the levels that I have for you to be selling, 150 at 733. Sweet. There you go. Yeah, I'm sitting here filling. And it's going to keep going up. There we go, folks. I just got it at 734. I got to keep writing this down because I got to keep numbers of shares that I'm running here. Can't lose track of how many shares I've got. Man, it's gotten crazy. On those days that I was buying, my God, some of the amounts of these. Look at this. Look at this day when it was at 7 and down in the 714, around 702. Oh my God, look at all this. And the 8s, even those were in the 8s. And I just been eating this stock alive, eating it. But I do sell every once in a while. But anyway, we got to get to where our total is now on this stock, and it's up there, folks. It's way up there. Oh, 12,500,000 or so right now, I believe. Got to find my sheet of paper that has the total on it. Sorry, I got 13,625 shares right now, and that now I have 13,645 shares. 13,645. And I have not sold hardly any shares this whole week, this whole past 2 weeks, really. There was one day I caught a couple of the highs, but I've been just accumulating here, as you can see, because I've gone from about 8,000 when you guys started listening to me, actually 7,500 shares. So I've almost doubled my position because I know what's coming. I know what's down the pike. I have a premonition. I have a little ball here that says, Tyler, look at the Sofi 3-month chart. That's what it tells me. And then it says to me, look at it with a bigger vision, taking the screen out. I was okay. And I said, that's what it says to me. So then I came in here and I says, oh my gosh, look at this 200-day moving average over the last, since, what was it? The 1st of June, right? The 1st of June was the end of it for them. Look at that humongous crossover. Look at the 10-day and everything going up. And look at this 200-day. Brag much? LOL. No, literally, I'm not bragging. I'm grateful to the good Lord above, because he woke me up to the fact that after the May 1st earnings call, and here's what had happened. I had seen that May 1st earnings call and the big beat down afterwards for 4 days on 340 million shares traded, when this usually traded about 18 million a day, 22 million. All of a sudden I saw that. And I recognized it for what it was, manipulation. So I talked to all the people in my catfish clan. Well, at the time, there was only about 4 or 5 of us. And we called ourselves the Knights of the Round Table. We'd be getting together. Double K is one of them. Tommy's one of them. You've heard these people. Chris is one of them. I've been around them all. I've known some of these people since I was 7 years old. And so we're a very tight knit group. And so I was telling them, listen, SoFi's a buy here. Get in on it. So they did. They started buying it, and they were nibbling each day. They were happy it was going up and up. And when it started to sort of take off, then that was David Chiavrini Day, the downgrade from where we were, and the price dropped on that downgrade news on May the 15th. Well, that ticked me off so bad because I had already bought around 200 shares or 300 or something. I was so angry about that guy. I started looking into him, found out from my buddy Hurricane Lopez that the guy's full of baloney and he's a horrible analyst. He's one of the lowest rated analysts in the country, and that he has a success rate negative, and he only picks a good stock 98 times out of 210. I went, uh-oh. Everybody got fooled by this guy, so started piling in there. That was the day after the big rundown on May the 15th on his downgrade to $2.50. And by the way, we just had a reiteration by Andrew Jeffries, who actually has a 5-star rating, and he's saying $16 price target. So, but on that day, he upset me so much, I started doing every day SoFi channel, YouTube. And since then, I've gained 700 subscribers because they all want to know about this stock. A lot of people came in since then. You can look at my, and everybody knows pretty much. I had 336 subscribers the day before I started my SoFi rant and telling everybody. I was sounding the buy now alarm when it was in the 4s with everyone I could get my word out to, because I knew David Chiavrini's rundown. And sure enough, after that day on May the 15th, what happened on June the 14th? Less than 1 month later, the price had gone from $4.45 to June the 14th. All right. And that was, hold on, going back here, May to June the 14th. And where was the price? Boom. 1023. In less than a month, folks, in less than a month, it went from the rundown price by David Chiavrini, who Lopez calls Chia Pet. I call him Chia Pansy. But here's the day that he did it right here, May the 15th. He made the price fall from basically in the mid 5s to $4.45. And folks, I had bought it after this May 5th rundown right around this price right here. Boom. All right. Because I like to buy at 512, or because it's going to go over the 513 perhaps. But anyway, I bought it on this day, and then he comes out and bam, does that to me. So I said, okay, we're going to turn this around. And I started talking about SoFi. So did I have anything to do? People started coming over to my channel and started listening, because after that day down, it was up 1, 2, 3, call that 4, because 1 penny doesn't count. 5, 6, 7. That's one day, 7. So we got 6 out of 7. And we got 7 out of 8, 8 out of 9, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 11, 11 out of 12. 1 day back. Then we got, so 11 out of 13, 12 out of 14, 13 out of 15, 14 out of 16, 15 out of 17, 16 out of 18, 17 out of 19, 18 out of 20, and 19 out of 21 days higher. All right, everybody? Huh. My gosh. Uh-oh. Troy Boy says, I feel a fever coming on, a cash fever. So I called off work. Too exciting to leave when you say money is being made. Yeah. Ooh, the fever. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Free out the cage. Good morning. Yes, Mopar. Whoo, whoo. All right. Hey, Mopar. What do you think? Time to break out the sax today a little? Oh. Yeah, maybe we will. Oh, and we hit the bottom. Look at that. One of us just bought. One of the cat. Look at that. Ron, said he motivated him, bought 400 at 736. Cha-ching. Well, I'm buying too. I'm not as aggressive, but I'm buying it. Because I know where we're headed between now and earnings. And folks, they're never going to take a screen any day this week is my call. That's my call. Let's reuse another order. Isn't this fun, folks? Just hold on here because we got further to go, much further up to go, I guarantee you. Put my order in now. Want some more? I want the same price you got there. Ruben Carlos, what if earnings is terrible? I don't see that could be a possibility. They're going to beat, they're most likely going to beat the street again. And the reason I say this, Ruben Carlos, and thank you for asking, is because of this reason. Because SoFi has, for 2.5 years now, not been getting one of their biggest income generators, and that's student loans. I just read you guys the article that when they opened up their company first, they borrowed a lot of money because they were going to do what with all that money, right? Student loans. That's what they said. Well, I want you to see something that all the time that we kept beating the street, and look at the revenues yearly. This is during the time that they didn't have any money coming in, because you can see right here, this right here was COVID time, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. But look at the revenue going up, even without the money coming in from the student loans, which had stopped coming in, which was one of their biggest things in their portfolio. How do you like that? All right. Well, now, guess what? The moratorium is ended, and they are paying back. Started as the 1st of October, all through September, actually, and they had to start making their payments. The interest started accruing in September, and they had to start making their payments this month, as of October the 1st. There's a lot of money flowing in, and it's going into deposits. They can take all this cash they got coming in now from the student loans. And plus, it's a great opportunity for SoFi to rework their loans that they have existing already with people and say, look, we know it's maybe you don't have a lot right now, so come on in and we'll work it out. We'll extend your terms. We'll make sure you can make these comfortable payments, not so high. So this is another time for them to be making money, an opportunity to make more and more money. And I showed somebody a site here the other day that they have for people, and this is make a perfect SoFi student loans. Oh, man, I got to get this cap lock off. All right. So right here, if you go right here to SoFi on their webpage, look at what they're doing here. They're reaching out already to people, and they're telling them, look, what is student loan forbearance? Will refinance student loans be forgiven? What happens if you just stop paying your student loans? How student loan consolidation works. See, this is where they're going to do it. Student loan consolidation, folks. Student loan forgiveness programs for release. So SoFi's already got this figured out. They're going to turn this into another money-making opportunity by refinancing everyone's student loans. All right, how do you like that? Smart of them. Very smart of them to do that. Now, let's see here. By the way, let's go see what's going on here in the news today. Anybody write a hack piece on us or whatever? Nope. Got $5,000. These two growth stocks are smart buys. Well, we probably are in here. Yep. And this article by Zacks, SoFi expected to beat earnings. See there, your question was, what if earnings are terrible? No, they're expected to beat earnings. And don't be surprised, folks, to see old Anthony Noto blow people away with what they've got coming in now in funds. All right. And there's a possibility that now that the moratorium, see, when he was talking about their income and revenues and growth and expansion and all the products that they have, which are thousands of products that they've been releasing to the market over the last year, what he said was the following. He said that our student loans were not calculated into their projected earnings because they weren't sure they were going to have those coming in. They didn't know Biden was going to keep going on and on. And SoFi actually had to step up to get it stopped, and they sued the government. They sued the U.S. government. Do you know that? SoFi took a lawsuit out because they said it was unconstitutional for them to keep carrying on this moratorium, and they won the lawsuit. Cha-ching! But see, Anthony Noto and his business partners, they're not just going to sit around and take the BS from our administration saying students should suddenly just have every student loan that's been since 1940s or 30s have all been getting paid back by the people who worked so hard to pay them all back. And suddenly this generation deserves to get a hammy. Oh, you've had such a traumatic life. Folks, all during the Vietnam War and all the Korean War, all those times people were paying back student loans. All right. So anyway, my point is that Anthony Noto, when he was talking about them reaching profitability in Q4, was not, he was talking about before the moratorium ended, and he didn't know whether they would or not. So now that it has ended, I think this is going to speed up their timeline. They could even possibly announce profitability now on this next earnings call. And if they do that, well, one of two things is going to happen. Either the exact same thing we saw on the last earnings call, which was so funny because I want to point this out, folks. When we beat the street here on May the 1st, we were expected to earn over here at this figure, and we got up to here. They knocked us down 35% in 3 or 4 days on a huge amount of volume. I've shown you that. But the funny thing is, in the next earnings report that came out, and this is the one I'm talking about, this was the one here on May the 1st, right here. That was the May the 1st. And we got run down on massive volume attack for 4 days in a row until it hit the bottom at $4 and whatever it was, 59 cents, $4.59. All right. Well, folks, it dropped on that massive beat. And then on this, where we just met expectations, it went up 48%. They ran it up to 1170. See, the MMs, the market makers, the manipulators, and they had that number in mind, 1170. I told everybody that day as it was running up, get out at 1166. I did. Some of you sold at the same time I did on that day. And congratulations with you because you were able to buy it back in the 714 price. And even lower yesterday in the 6s. And by the way, yesterday, that low that they got to that number in the early pre-market, folks. They'd have never been able to accomplish it during the daytime of regular trading. They came in under the cover of darkness, see, that's how they like to work. And I even told everybody on Friday, I said, Monday morning, I expect them to come at us right out of the gate hard to hit a new low. So you guys get up early Monday and catch those prices. Some of you did. I didn't because I stayed up all night. Went to bed at 4 in the morning because I was trying to get all my videos up on YouTube. But anyway, there you go. What do we got here? Mopar for Life says, my son and younger brother have SoFi student loans. They haven't paid yet, but they do have jobs, so the income is there. Yeah. Nice. I love it. Let's get Noto on the channel. You have the power. Oh, he's been here, Ron. He's been here a couple days. Yes. Yes, he leaves us great words of wisdom. And he's right. Anthony Noto comes here and he does leave us words of wisdom, including the last time he was here, Ron, that I mentioned to Anthony Noto when he was on here. Listen, buddy, I wouldn't advise using his Anthony Noto's likeness and his image, which he had on his icon over here on his, he had it for his thumbnail picture on his emoji, whatever to call it. Anyway, he had Anthony Noto's photo and he had his name. And I warned that could be very, you should be careful. Because if you're going to make statements and you're claiming to be somebody, you could be setting yourself up for all kinds of lawsuits, including theft identity, over state lines because the internet is, World Wide Web. So, you're talking about a possible federal charge for impersonating an individual or portraying yourself as someone you're not, right? So there's all kinds of legal things that could happen, but he didn't leave. He just said that he just stayed right on there and kept leaving other great comments. So I honestly believe there's a possibility anyway that it really is his. And I wouldn't be surprised because I get in 400, 500 people a day on this channel, and some of them might have been what the employees of his that he pays to go and look around for news on YouTube about, I don't know. But someone might have told him, man, you got to go check out what this guy's saying, man. He preaches to the people, and he shows them stuff that others don't. So maybe he is here. Maybe he's found my channel and he likes what he hears. And I know one thing for sure. The last time that he was here, Ron, he said, I mentioned about, I was showing him all the things that I show everybody. And I showed him, I went back to May 15th. I showed him a history of the May 1st debacle where we beat the street and beat estimates. And look at this volume that had been down here at 16 million, 18 million, 17 million. All of a sudden, on that day that we beat the streets, mysteriously, on the day we beat the streets, 125 million to run the price down, right? And then the next day, 115 million to make it fall more. Then 64 million to make it fall more. And then 59 million to make it hit the bottom, right? I talked to him about David Chiaverini and about his horrible analyst, and I was hacking him down. And you know what? He came on and said, hey, he's only human. He didn't know any better. And that sounds like the kind of guy that Anthony Noto is, to be honest with you. Isn't that right, folks? That's exactly what he said. Anthony Noto was here on my page, on my site, watching my podcast, and he came on and he actually defended the guy that made the price drop. He's probably happy he did it because on that day, Anthony Noto bought another 1 million shares of this stock, right? You can go back and look at all the times that Anthony Noto has bought stock on this company, and you'd be surprised. Folks, this Anthony Noto, that's the CEO of Sofi, he's no moron. I'm going to tell you right now, and neither is his wife, Kristen. She buys stock in Sofi too. And then let's see, look at this. Anthony Noto buying Sofi stock. And folks, it's a little bit mind-blowing, right? Shortly after the first quarter, Anthony Noto paid $390,000 over May the 4th and 5th. What do you know? The very day that it hit the low, look at that. He was buying. See? You gotta love a CEO of a company that steps up and says, I put my money where my mouth is. You guys can try to knock this down all you want after we beat the street on earnings. I'm going to come in and buy. And also, his wife bought. Look at this. He now owns 6.4 million Sofi shares in a personal account. You know that's about $60 million. Let's see if I'm right. And we're going to do today's share price at $7.38. All right. Hey, Alexa, what is 6.4 million times $7?
4,000 times 6% is 200.
Alexa, stop. What is 6.4 million times $8.38?
This might answer your question. 6.4 million times $8 and 38 cents is 53,632,000 US dollars.
You got that, people? This guy is a multi-millionaire and owns $53 million worth of the company that he is the CFO of, CEO. I said CFO because you know who he used to be? The CFO? That's the Chief Financial Officer of Twitter. The one that just sold to Elon Musk for billions and billions of dollars. He was in there as the Chief Financial Officer of Twitter. He shook the hand the day that they did the deal with Anthony Noto. That's right, Mopar. Just like a typical woman, won't even let you finish a sentence. Starts talking over you because she knows more than you do. Folks, how do you like what I'm showing you here? On the day that he saw us get the price run down, he bought in just like catfish. Catfish Noto, right? Look down here. There's another thing. He discloses not only him, but he discloses that his wife has purchased Kristen Noto. But just look at all these articles of buying stock on May the 18th. Look right here, May the 8th. He bought another 50,000 shares, average of 473 on May the 4th. See that? Amounted $236,000. That ain't nothing. May the 5th, he came in the next day. His ownership now is 6.35 million, and he's gone to 6.5 million shares now. I know. Ah, darn it. I didn't want to click on that. So, folks, what I'm showing you here is that this guy buys, look at this. Here, Anthony Noto order was $1,135,000 over $5 million buy. All right, people? Here he goes. Anthony Noto on May the 4th, 50,000 shares, 473. And you can go on and on and on, folks. December 14th, 2022, when the price was again at its low, he bought $5 million worth. June the 7th, bought 2.4 million. The guy's a Sofi share buying crazy idiot, right? Just like you and me and all the others, right? And he's going to be, can you imagine what will happen years from now that his $57 million worth of SoFi, when this thing goes to $100, that's $5.7 billion, folks. Cha-ching! And I'm not kidding. Folks, I'm going to show you something else. And this is, I love this about this guy and why I show you. Anthony Noto, wife. Here we go. Kristen Noto paid $14.23 per share, 2021. And she also bought on May 5th when they knocked it down, 19,833 shares. All right? So she also stood behind the stock. When he bought, she bought. So you can see that, folks, what I'm showing you. And this is the day, May the 16th, and I told you this too. May the 16th, the day after David Chiaverini's article with a price target of 250, he bought 108,000 more shares, average 46732. Right with me. I filled at 466, 2,500 shares, and 467, 2,500, and he came in on the heels of my order. Because the price was going up then on that day. It was starting to recover off the Chiaverini's downgrade because everybody started looking into it. And I pointed out, along with Hurricane Lopez on YouTube, that this guy was a moron that did the downgrade with a horrible, horrible rating and had a negative 35%. I mean, it was just, I pointed it out. And then just a couple days later, May 18th, he bought more. And folks, he's just bought more and more and more of this stock. So there you go. You know it now. All right. You know more about it now. Look at this price going up. Cha-ching, cha-ching. The buy at 736 with me. 737. Now you're making money. And folks, this is just the beginning of a long run. All right. Does anybody at this point in time want to try to throw out a number we're going to close the day at? After, look at this massive cup and handle that just formed. And look at the volume, folks. Let's get over here and watch this chart. Let's get on the 1 day and see who's buying here now. Man, I want to let you know, folks, you guys completely blew my mind yesterday. I want to thank you very, very much for all of your gifts and contributions and your thank yous and all of it. I am just so grateful. Today, I just want to say how much I am Mopar running. I'm free out of the cage. Good morning. Yep. Earnings, good info. Okay, good. Everybody, I'm caught up. It looks like I'm caught up. And folks, look at this. See, now what I want to show you, see this right here in this movement? Look how it's gradually climbing here. Let me show you how familiar that looks to this chart right here. Here we go. This is a common pattern, folks, of this stock. Come on, get up here. You start seeing these very gradual moves up here. Look at here. Look at this. Yeah, Bobby, SoFi savings account went from 4.5 to 4.6. Oh, yeah. Nice. Here looks like the dark pole is likely moving huge numbers behind the curtain. Oh, they are. I want you to see something, everybody. Right here. Every time that this stock starts to make a move and bounce, look what it starts doing before. This gradual upward trend. And I'm going to click in here a little tighter. And I want to show you this very, very clearly. This is very common. And then look right here, for example, and I'm going to get rid of this out of my way. I don't want it here. Get out of there. Thank you. Look right here, folks. It's where we're sitting now. Look right here at this chart, how it trades slowly slide, a little drop, and then kaboom. And then you got the same thing here. Look at this slow trade sideways with a little bit of going up, a tiny pop, and then boom. So each time you start seeing these developing very gradual sideways movements and then a little drop, bam. All right, I point this out to you, and it even happened over a 2-month period. 1 month here, 2 months there. Then the drop and pop. All the way up, the drop, and then pop. We're going to go off this line. We're going to go off of it today for sure. And we're going to go on up this afternoon, I do believe. And the lunchtime low is $7.36. You know what? I don't think I wrote down the lunch low yesterday. I did not. It's been a long time since I wrote it down, actually. I'm sorry. But October 24th, 10:24, lunchtime low, 7.36. Well, that's only 4 cents below 4 days ago, so we're already starting to recover because we went way down in between those on lunchtime lows. I know that. All right. Now, when you look at this chart, though, and when you look at this chart closely, the most important thing for you to understand is that on this lower movement trend line I have, look at the 200-day moving average. It just keeps going right along it. And every time they've tried to take this price down below that, big institutions, hedge funds, and pensions come in. Look at all the green candlesticks down here after they hit that line. Look at them right there. See that? They hit that line and they pulled it just a fraction below. And then, man, they started in, and look at all those green candlesticks buying it up. And by the way, since that day right there, it's never the 200 average is. This is what the big guys look at, folks. They don't look at the daily rundowns. They're watching that 200 day and buying more every day. All right. Cha-ching. Time to get in some more, folks. Put in an order at 7:36 right now. Cha-ching. I just want you to know, folks, that if you're buying with me here, expect 4 more days of up gradually. I told you this would be 2 to 3% per day, and it's going to be happening. And then on earnings day, they're going to see this thing just, I honestly feel like skyrocket. Now, here's another thing you could do. I've already told you to have your sell orders in at prices way above, but on that day, we could see an attack. So have some cash. We're going to be starting to sell each day up to there. We're going to take some cash off the top. All right. So if they pull a stunt like they did on May the 1st and run the price down 4 days in a row, down 40%, 38% from the earnings day, we're going to have that cash there to come in on it with. All right. So each day, I'm going to tell you, time to get out right here. Look at this. There we go. See, I'm going to help propel it up now. Positions. Reduce position. No, not reducing anything. Duh. Here we go. Add to position. And here we go. Let's say we can get 736 again. I'm going to try it. And we're going to put in, for, I'm so sure it's going to go up. I'll go a whole 20 shares this time. All right, here we go. In review order, I'm going to try and get it at $7.36. We'll see if we get it. Please. All right, let's see if we get lucky. And look at the time. It was 12:13, by the way. 12:13. Come on, Shorty, get me a price of $7.36 during lunchtime. You can do it. But look down here at this chart. It looks beautiful. By the way, does that copy the NASDAQ? No, the NASDAQ. Well, I haven't refreshed this in a while. Hold on. Oh, yeah, it does. It does copy the NASDAQ. Look what we got going on the NASDAQ, everybody. Ah, look at all that volume there trickling down through the rest of the day. They came in heavy this morning because they like the sentiment, and now it's being worked down by short hedges. All right, trying to put a rein on this thing. What do they say here for the finance homepage? What's the positives they got? Why is the market going up today? UAW targets key GM plant and latest strike escalation. That's the news, huh? Stocks rise as earnings flood in with big techs on deck. All right. Stocks are rising on earnings. Alphabet, Meta, Amazon, all coming out with earnings. What do you know, folks? Whole market up now, 183.77. Who called that? King Cat. Get on back over here to our channel. There she goes. I haven't got my 736 order. I'll just go and market one now. Place it. There we go. I just filled.